60 Minutes Overtime.
Some people argue that you're an alarmist.
Exactly. But clearly, when you have the data and the data point that the current extinction rate is hundreds of times or thousands of times in other groups of plants and animals than the previous, the normal extinction rate, that it is. That's the data. There is no other interpretation.
This week on 60 Minutes, we report on something that scientists are calling the sixth mass extinction. There have been 5 great die-offs in the history of our planet when at least 75% of known species disappeared. The last mass extinction was 66 million years ago when an asteroid wiped out the dinosaurs. Now, scientists think humans are hastening another mass annihilation of plants and animals. The cause this time? Pollution, habitat destruction, over-exploitation of resources, and, of course, climate change. Mexican ecologist Gerardo Ceballos is among the world's leading scientists on extinction. He laid out for us how dire the situation has become over the last century.
There is only 2% of the big fishes that were in the oceans 50 years ago. Only 2% are living. We have lost around 70% of all the animals that were in the planet. All the big animals, all the mammals, birds, 70% are gone since 1980. In Southeast Asia, we have lost 90% of the tropical forests of Southeast Asia since 2000. So our impact is so massive that we are becoming this meteorite that is impact the planet. The difference with the previous mass extinction is that they took tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of years to happen. In this particular case, this is happening so fast now, in just 2-3 decades. Even the species that are not affected directly by the extinction crisis won't have enough time to evolve and survive this impact that we're doing.
Every 2 years, the World Wildlife Fund produces a document called the Living Planet Report. This biennial report card details the health of Earth's wildlife, showing the average decline of species populations since they were first monitored in 1970.
We saw a really big change between the 2018 report and the 2020 report. That surprised us. It went from 64% to 68%. You wouldn't expect to see that big decline in 2 years.
Rebecca Shaw is Chief Scientist and Senior Vice President at the World Wildlife Fund.
The thing that undermines species populations globally, the number one thing is habitat destruction. And that habitat destruction usually comes from the expansion of agricultural land. So mowing down the tropical rainforests to plant soy or to plant corn or to graze cows. We no longer have the services that those rainforests give us, like stabilizing the planet's climate, like stabilizing weather patterns, like producing food and fresh water. We use 70% of all the fresh water on the planet to irrigate our crops.
Did you just say that 70% of the fresh water on the planet is used for irrigation?
Yes, is altered for the purposes of food production and irrigation.
Is there anything that can be done to reverse this process? And if so, what is it?
One of the most important things we can do moving forward is to really get so much better at what we produce, where we produce it, how we produce it. Make sure that we are eating foods that are planet-friendly and species-friendly, and that we don't waste food. Right now, 40% of all food that is produced is wasted. And if that's the case, it means you need to do a 40% bigger draw on nature in order to produce that food. And so stop wasting food.
The scientists we spoke to told us that without changing our behavior, this extinction crisis will become irreversible.
None of the dinosaurs made it through the last mass extinction. Humans won't make it through this mass extinction.
Why not?
Because we require so much of nature and natural resources and stability from nature and stability from the climate in order to thrive. And if we're not thriving, if we don't have food to eat, fresh water, clean air, we cannot thrive and we cannot survive. I really do feel like we have the chance and the opportunity to work together to stop climate change, to stop the decline of biodiversity, and we do so for our own good, and I think we will figure it out. We just have to figure out faster than we probably will.
It has to happen in this generation.
It does. It does.